The WNBA thought it was untouchable. Unrivaled thought it had found its niche. But then, something unexpected appeared on the horizon, something big, bold, and dangerously ambitious. They're calling it Project B. And if the early numbers are even half true, this new league could rewrite women's basketball forever. $2 million contracts, equity stakes, global reach, celebrity investors. That's not just competition, that's an earthquake. When the first whispers about Project B hit social media, most people thought it was just another overseas league looking to lure players for the off-season. But this wasn't Turkey, it wasn't China, it wasn't a cash grab tournament. It was something new, something designed to challenge the system itself. Behind it stood tech entrepreneurs Grady Burnett and Jeff Prentice, guys who know how to scale billion-dollar ideas. They looked at women's basketball and saw what most executives missed: talent, charisma, fan loyalty, and massive untapped global potential. But they also saw frustration. Players tired of begging for fair pay, tired of the travel grind, tired of watching their male counterparts live in luxury while they doubled as influencers just to make rent. Project B's pitch was simple and brutal. You're worth more, and we're ready to prove it. Let's talk numbers. The WNBA's current Supermax salary sits at roughly $250,000. That's the top of the scale. Project B? They're throwing $2 million per year, minimum at the biggest names, with the potential for eight-figure multi-year deals. That's life-changing money. That's you never have to play overseas again money. That's buy a house for your parents money. And if that wasn't enough, they added one word that changed everything: equity. Players aren't just getting paid, they're becoming owners. Every athlete who signs isn't just earning a check, they're buying a piece of the league's future. If it grows, they grow with it. It's the kind of model players have begged the WNBA for years to adopt, but never got. The first domino fell faster than anyone expected. Nneka Ogwumike, the president of the WNBPA, didn't just join Project B, she became its symbol. A WNBA MVP, the face of the union and one of the most respected voices in the game, gone. And she didn't leave quietly. She called it a historic move for women's sports. Translation: this isn't just a contract, it's a statement. When the player's own leader signs with the rival, it's not business as usual, it's rebellion. Now let's be clear, Project B isn't some backyard startup. They've got serious backing. Names like Candace Parker, Alana Beard, and Lauren Jackson are already tied to it. And outside of basketball, Novak Djokovic, Sloane Stephens, and several global investors from the tech world are on board. This is money meeting momentum. The same kind of formula that turned the UFC from a niche fight promotion into a billion-dollar empire. Their model is built on the Formula One concept: 6 teams, 11 players each, traveling from city to city across Asia, Europe, and Latin America. No hometown loyalties, no stagnant markets, just world-class talent going where the fans are. Think about that. Instead of forcing fans to come to the league will come to them. It's bold, global, and expensive, but it might just work. Meanwhile, the WNBA is sitting in an uncomfortable spot. Yes, it has stability, ESPN contracts, and decades of legitimacy. But it also has a looming problem. The collective bargaining agreement expires soon, and players already want better pay, better conditions, and more revenue sharing. Project B just handed them the perfect bargaining chip. How do you tell players we can't afford raises when another league is offering 8 times the salary plus ownership? You can't. And that's why league executives are nervous. Because for the first time, WNBA players have real leverage. This isn't about ego, it's about economics. Now let's talk about Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 league launched by players like Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. When Unrivaled was announced, it looked revolutionary, a player-owned, women-led project aiming to fill the off-season gap with creative formats and fair pay. It was exciting, empowering, and genuinely innovative. But then Project B walked in like a heavyweight entering a local gym. Unrivaled is a beautiful idea. But Project B is backed by millions and global distribution ambitions. If Unrivaled wanted to create a safe haven, Project B is trying to build an empire. And that changes everything, because if players have to choose between a few months of moderate pay or a $2 million global contract, loyalty gets tested real quick. Let's be real. This could be the first true talent war in women's basketball history. Imagine if stars like Aja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, or Sabrina Ionescu suddenly announced they're joining Project B. Sponsors would follow. Networks would follow, fans would follow, and the WNBA would find itself fighting to stay relevant in its own territory. For years, WNBA athletes had to play overseas just to earn a living wage. Russia, Turkey, China, players risked burnout, injury, even safety, just to make ends meet. Now, a new league is offering that kind of pay, but without the overseas instability or grueling schedules. That's not just appealing, it's irresistible. But let's slow down for a second. Project B sounds great on paper, but can it actually deliver? Launching a league isn't easy. Salaries that high require serious revenue, broadcasting deals, sponsorships, ticket sales, and brand partnerships. And remember, global travel isn't cheap. Private jets, accommodations, logistics, promotion. This thing will burn cash faster than a wildfire if not managed right. So far, Project B has been tight-lipped about its full financial plan. But insiders say the founders are seeking major long-term investors, people who see women's basketball as a frontier market ready to explode. If they pull it off, they could become the new face of the sport. If they don't, it could crash hard, leaving players unpaid and fans disappointed. That's the gamble, but it's one many stars seem willing to take. The WNBA's response so far has been cautious. Publicly, they've congratulated Neka and wished her success. Privately, you can bet the mood is different. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has repeatedly emphasized that the WNBA is growing year by year, with improved salaries and new media deals. But progress has been slow, and patience among players is running out. Project B just accelerated that timeline, because now every negotiation, every contract, every social media post from a player is colored by one unspoken question. Why should I stay when I can get more somewhere else? There's a ripple effect here.